our spirit. What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Renee is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Renee.
Good Monday morning, everybody. This is DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with the Edge Network. Bringing you every Monday morning just a little bit of spirit, bringing them in through, things that are suggested, things that through a book, they're just bringing things through just to make life a little bit more enlightening throughout the week and kind of give us some homework to see where we can go with things. As always, guys, this is the Edge Network, and we do have the Edge Network magazine. There's are 3 different issues. In these issues, so much information. You have literally people that you can find in the directory for all your spiritual needs. We've got phenomenal articles. In the very back, we also have a reading by me. The magazine does come out twice or every other month, which is pretty insane. You can have this either delivered to your doorstep for a small fee, or you can go find your favorite drop spot and place that in there, because quite frankly, if you go to your drop spot, it's free to you and it's free to them. So if you have a store, you have a healing center, you have a chiropractor's office, you have a tattoo shop, it doesn't matter. You have someplace where you do feel that the magazine would be a good fit, email the magazine or just send me a message. I will give you the drop spot link. We'll get you hooked up. We'll get you hooked up so that magazine can go there every time an issue comes out for free. And then you can go pick up your magazine for free, which is super awesome. And now, as everybody knows, at the end of the show, we get into this and I do a 5-card stud. Oh my God. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Tim. 5-card stud. What this is somebody sends me a deck of cards, whether they self-promoted them. For instance, this deck is by Kim Woods, and she created this deck and, had it published. Or different publishing companies send me decks like a Hay House, Beyond Words, so many different ones out there. And I literally review them. Good morning, Miss Mary. I review the deck. That's what I do. And I do it. Why? Because I think it's fun, because I don't know about you, but myself, every time I go in to buy a new deck, it's like, you don't know if you're going to like the cards or not. And a lot of times you really don't get a chance to see if they're any good or not, taking them home. So once you buy them, you're kind of stuck with them. So this way I get to get those out to you. I get to show if they're easy to work with, how I feel about them. And then you decide if you want to buy them at a later date. Now, I know a lot of people goes, oh my God, what do you do with those cards when you're done? I do keep a select few, not nearly what I receive. Just the ones that I would, oh my God, these were awesome. Or what I do is I make up really special boxes that I do take to different events that are literally raffled off for money for a special occasion. So it's not, if I was, I'm a hoarder of cards, I get it. But if I was keeping all these cards, oh my God, I'd be swimming in cards. So I recycle them back out. Obviously they're used the one time for the show, but quite frankly, people can, bid on a box that has 2, 3, 4 decks in it. And when people send me books to read, because I have people that have sent me books, they want me to read them. They want me to kind of either myself review them or Kelly Wagner, the owner of Edge Network, review them. And if I have one of those, I throw that into the box. Why not? Why not? Just spread that out and get that out to people. So again, that's what we're doing. So at the end of the show, if you want to stick around for a reading, we're using Kim Woods decks today. And as always, and it is as always, because I have been, I will say for months, reverting to Neil Diamond Walsh and his book. If everybody knows, heard of the famous books, Conversations with God, Neil Diamond Walsh is the one that channeled those books. And he's become such a huge inspiration for me, huge inspiration. So every week, I literally just kind of open up, I literally look at the book and I go, what do my viewers need to know this week? And I open to a random picture page and I put a bookmark in. And that's about all I do. I do refer back to the page like a couple of words just to see what I need to make for the thumbnail. But other than that, it's kind of cool because, like I've stated every week for myself, I work on literally whatever I talk about today is what I'll be working on for the next week, and hopefully you guys are too. But at the same time, they're having me start working on some other stuff, and it never ceases to amaze me to find out that it's actually what I was talking about in Monday's book. So, with that being said, we're going to open to our famous page, whatever page that is. Where's the bookwork? Okay. It says, ooh, kind of pretty, little bit of reading. So I'm going to read this and then we're going to just kind of talk about it and see where life goes. So me and my fancy dancy glasses. It says, in highly evolved societies, there is no shame nor any such thing as guilt. In highly evolved cultures, beings would never be asked to do something they've demonstrated an inability to do. Their own demonstrated inability would eliminate their desire to want to. This is a natural outcome of their understanding. I can't even see these words. I got so much going in my head, it's hard to read. Let me start all over again. It says, in highly evolved cultures, beings would never be asked to do something they're demonstrated an inability to do. Their own demonstrated inability will...
Nanny, have you seen my birthday cards?
I have not. They're probably up in your room. Sorry, guys. Their own demonstrated inability would eliminate their desire to want to. This is a natural outcome of their understanding that their inability to do a particular thing could potentially damage another. This they would never do. For the damage the other is to damage the self, and this they know, and they know this. A human defines self very narrowly. You speak of yourself, your family, your community. An HEB defines self quite differently. Self speaks of the self, the family, the community, and so. In a highly evolved culture, a being would never, for instance, insist on raising offspring if that being consistently demonstrated to itself its own inability to do so. My gosh, my words today. Also have a highly evolved being does not feel guilty or shame, because guilt and shame are concepts which are imposed on a being from outside of itself. They can then be internalized, no question about that. But they're initially imposed from the outside. Always, no divine being, or all beings are divine, ever knows itself or anything is doing is to be shameful or guilty, until someone outside of itself labels it that way. The degree to which a culture is evolved is demonstrated by the degree to which it labels a being or an action shameful or guilty. Now, I will tell you what, that was hard to read, not for the fact of myself sitting in that place, or not that it's not truth, because it really is, but because literally my brain is literally going over the last week. Every time I've seen somebody sit in blame, every time I've seen somebody sit in shame, every time I've done a reading and the soul that came through went, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, and blame has been released, or whatever it might have been, or a soul coming through and saying, apologizing to somebody else for something they had created, or just simply shootings this weekend. You know, so many things that have gone through my head. And you know what? I'm going to go to what the big thing is in my head right now, and it's the shootings that took place. Now, this is not a political platform, and I'm no way, shape, or form going to go politics, okay? Because I don't do politics. I'm not a person that can even do them. But I want to tell you what, I have been in awe. I have been in awe, and I have been so proud, so incredibly proud of the people that I have seen this weekend and heard of their talking or read stuff that they've written. And it's been mind-blowing, because I was really expecting with another rally to have a lot of flack going on. And quite frankly, I haven't seen much. And then to have somebody that has been such a public figure, either loved or hated, and there's only the two sides of the coin with this, or seems to be. I was really expecting to see a lot of blame, a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, a lot of finger pointing. And quite honestly, I've seen virtually nothing. Virtually nothing. And trust me, it's not that I have this pristine, amazing feed. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook, and that's just my public profile. Trust me, there is enough room for hate and blame and finger pointing and everything. And I have been in awe and surprised and so proud, because I do believe we've gone to a society, or we're uplifting our society to going, wait, we don't need this. And the recurring message has been over and over again that people don't want to hear finger pointing. They don't want to hear blame. They don't want to hear this is somebody's wrongdoing, that they brought this on themselves. They don't want to hear any BS when it comes to any of it. And that has been their first thing. Whether they like this man or dislike this man, they've literally stated, I've seen somebody post something so beautiful to going, I will not go back on the fact that I do not like this man, but there is no room in our society for anybody to throw shame, to throw guilt, to throw wrongdoing, to throw anything towards us at all on any level. And it takes me back to this, because the whole time I'm reading this, all I can think is about every single amazing positive post I've seen that said, for once, let's come back together. For once, let's become highly evolved beings and stop being jerks and fighting against each other. Let's come together. And really, that's what this is about. This is what it's about. It's coming together as a people, because when you start to come together, and we do come together, shame does disappear. Guilt disappears. Making somebody else feel bad about themselves disappears. And it's insane. It's so beautiful when you see that. Now, I will tell you, in my own career, because as we know, guys, I'm a full-time psychic medium. That's what I do, And I cannot tell you how many times I have literally went, I don't like the term psychic. I don't like the term psychic. And I've said it repeatedly throughout my career when I go to explain who I am. So this is what I literally say. I am a certified psychic medium, although I really don't like the term psychic because of the stereotypes that have been placed upon the psychic name. And for some reason, I feel vindicated when I say that. But when I sit here today, I go, why? Why am I almost ashamed of a word that describes who I am or what I do or part of me? The word psychic is not a bad word. There should be no shame in that word. I should not feel guilty for calling myself something based on a stereotype that's been placed. And neither should anybody else, because for myself, I am very much out of the closet. I am not hiding anymore. I'm a very proud psychic medium, very proud. But I had to stop and think to myself and go, wait a second, I teach this stuff. I teach psychic mediumship development. So how can I, in good conscience, teach, but yet find shame in a name? And I went, that shame has got to disappear. Why? Because there's no shame in what I do. I always tell somebody I am as good as my last reading. And my last reading was pretty rock star awesome. Only because I didn't have shame, because I didn't have guilt, because I didn't carry any of that with me. And then I have to look at my students, because I do. And I look at my students and they come to me. Some are very proud. But I will tell you, most are not when we get started. Most are lost. Most are scared. And the reasons they're lost and scared isn't because of who they are. It's because possibly their family don't believe it. Are you coming to say goodbye?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Things got back here.
Oh, the ferret is on the loose. It is not because they are, it's because family, through religious aspects or family, tell them on some level what they do is wrong, that they're broken. And it's really incredible. Currently, right now, we're doing a documentary, and I was honored to be part of this. I am so honored to be part of this. Okay, love.
I can't catch him.
Okay.
He's in your room.
I am so honored because this documentary, it's around the Roth House in Waseca, Illinois. And beautifully, I got to go into, I was a person mainly, photographed or filmed last week in this documentary. And it really goes back to the 1800s when the original happened. And I'm going to massacre this story. Hello, Jess. Hey, Sarah. I'm going to massacre this story, and I apologize, but I'm going to get the basics that I remember because, quite frankly, when I go into a place, I go in blind. I don't want to know I don't even want to know an address. They pick me up, they kidnap me, and off we go. And I trust whoever I'm with that I'm not going to get hurt. And I do a lot of protection around myself, but I really have to trust the people I'm with. So they take me to this place, which is amazing. And as I'm going through this building, I got more nervous and more confused, and I didn't know if I was coming or going. And it was literally because I kept going, I have one girl, but I keep seeing another girl. And the other girl's not supposed to be here, but she's here. But it's really this one. And then I have a mother, and I don't know what's going on because then I have a lady that's in the clouds. And I was just so nervous, and I was able to figure out the lady in the clouds and leave her over here. And the mother was beautiful. I got to go through the house. But this young girl that had this black or really dark pinned back hair, I couldn't get her separated from another one for the life of me. No matter what I did, I could not separate these two women. And I was getting more nervous, and I was doubting myself, and I was thinking, I can't do this. And it was incredibly difficult because, again, guys, I don't have the backstory. All I have is what I am receiving in that moment in this building. And as I'm going through the building, the producer is looking at me. It's okay. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Because he knew in his own mind, everything I was stating, it was hitting it. But for myself, he was watching going, I was watching your nervousness. I was watching your doubt. I was watching and knowing why you were feeling that. And then it came to the end of the night when I finally get the reveal on what was going on. And it goes back to this beautiful girl by the name of Mary Roth back in the 1800s. And Mary had psychic delusions, let's put it that way. So they weren't delusional at all, but the community felt she was delusional. But she had a lot of clairvoyancy. She had a lot of psychic abilities. She had a lot of mediumistic abilities. And quite frankly, she was a trance medium. But back then, they didn't know what any of this stuff was. I mean, this is back during the Fox sisters, I mean, and really, it was people that were this way were crazy. And she had what they called psychic fits to where she became unconscious and knew things and just was really, really out of her element. And the community got to the parents and convinced the parents that she was crazy. So the parents ended up locking her up in an insane asylum, of which this girl died very young. I mean, I believe it was like late teens, early 20s. Don't quote me on that because, quite frankly, my head is still fuzzy on the story. And the parents became very spiritual after that. It became spiritualists. They started having seances in their house. They started doing all this amazing stuff. And some years had gone by. And another girl in the community started to resemble their daughter. The psychic fits, the trances, a feeling of being insane, a lot of judgment, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. And the family, hi Paula, this girl's family were going to have her institutionalized for the rest of her life for the same stuff. And the first time this community, the parents of Mary went, no. We think she's like our daughter. Let her come to our home. Let her come to us, and we'll see if the spiritualists in our home and our seances can help her. So they finally took shame away. They took shame out of this equation because they went, we think she's like our daughter, and our daughter wasn't insane. Our daughter wasn't this. We no longer have shame. Matter of fact, we are sorrowful because of our shame and our guilt. Our daughter is no longer with us. And they brought this beautiful girl into their house. And I believe it was for like 100 days. And during this time, she essentially went into what I would know as a trance. They called a possession. And the possession was of Miss Mary Roth. the mother and father's daughter. And for 100 days, this girl, Lucinda, I think is her name, don't quote me again, walked as if she was Mary, talked as if she was Mary. All the memories were Mary's. The words were Mary's. Everything, how she sounded was Mary. And it's called the Wasika Wonder because of the beauty of this. And the fact that this young girl got to live out her life without shame, without guilt, because they were able to prove without a doubt, at least the family and the community, that quite frankly, there was nothing wrong with this girl, nothing to be ashamed of. And that led me further into the week. So this was this huge thing to me that said, wow, in my field, there's so much shame, so much guilt. Shame from community to say that you're crazy. Shame from families to say, oh my God, you're against our religion. We can't have this. You need to be denounced. You need to be sacrificed, whatever it might be. But we're placed with a lot of shame. And therefore, because of that shame, we don't do what we're naturally meant to do. And I will tell you, in my field, what I do is healing. It's 110% healing. This weekend, guys, I did readings all day yesterday, and I will tell you, reading after reading after reading, some of the most amazing things happened because I stood up and I did what I could do. And that was to sit there and bring through people that people did not want to hear from. Trust me, they were like, that person hated me, I hated them. And it was beauty because of healing that happened because I didn't have shame. And I demonstrated this all day long, reading after reading after reading. And there was so much beauty. I don't know if I've ever done an event that it was just healing after healing after healing. Every single one was so phenomenal. It was, wow, the words that came through were just amazing. And in the course of that, another girl was watching me throughout the day, had been watching people with tears, listening to what people were saying. And she was in awe. And she struck up a conversation with a lady next to her, who happens to be one of my students. He was no longer a student because she's a rock star. And talking to her, and she's going, no, that's DeEtte. That was my teacher. And telling her how I was giving her support when she didn't feel she had always had support. But trust me, this girl had tons of support. But that I helped her believe in herself to do what she was able to do. And because of that, this other lady came to me and asked questions and is intrigued and wants to learn because she has it in here and she knows it. She just doesn't know how to access it to the point where she's accurate and do it on a split notice. And it was beautiful because I seen somebody that went, oh, you know what? That's above me. I could never do that. To being able to do it. I've seen beautiful people who have gone into this field that I've literally went, okay, we're going to go to tarot now. And they're like, nope, can't do it. What? That's against my religion. How is a card against your religion? And it is amazing because this literally happened with one of my students. She said, I can't do this. No. And I said, well, why? And she said, because that's against my religion. It says it right in the Bible. Can't do that. That's divination. And I said, well, who said that? She said, well, Jesus said it. And I said, okay, well, why don't you go ask your Jesus? And she came back and she looked at me. I said, what did Jesus say? And she goes, he said it was okay because I made you. The card was just a tool. That's it. She doesn't use cards in everything she does. But it's a tool to help her learn. A tool to help her stop looking at herself as she's shameful. And we find that in so many things. I found it with another reading yesterday. And obviously I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say a lot into it. But this kid literally sat down with me. And we talked about him finding himself. And the reading was beautiful. And when we were done, he said that he stopped, he got into the music program and he just loves the music program. I thought, that is awesome. He's like, yeah, I used to play football, but I hated football. I played it for years and I hated football. I said, well, why don't you play football? He goes, my dad wanted me to play football, so I played football. And this is my senior year and I wasn't doing it anymore. I put my foot down. I was not playing that sport anymore. I'm done. I'm going to music class. And his dad was not happy with him because his dad, in so many ways, was living vicariously through him. And his dad was mad at him for months. Whether it be shame or guilt or just because he felt like his son was defying him. When his dad got rid of all that, and his dad inquired about the music program, turns out the dad was a musician back in the day. And when he gave up all of the preconceived ideas that he had, he picked up his instruments. And guess who's back into music again? Guess who's put himself back in there? Because he's able to do it. And now he's able to help his son. And his son doesn't have to have shame because he likes singing versus playing football. But we find that all the time, don't we? And everything we look around, we find that when we're supposed to do something, it's in here. If you're supposed to be a lawyer in here, it's a natural thing to want to debate, to find truth. If you're supposed to be a heart surgeon, it's in here to be a doctor, to go on. You're not going to perform something that isn't in here. Even when you're trained, because you know what? I'm not going to say any monkey can be trained to be a heart surgeon because I just don't think that's true. But you know what? Any doctor can be. But if it's not in here, they're not going to excel at it. They're going to find self-doubt. They're going to feel guilty because maybe they're not doing the best that they can. So when you start to follow your purpose, when you start to follow your path, what happens is we fall into our path. There's no shame. There's no guilt. And when you start to release those things, you stop putting guilt and shame on other people. Because you go, why would I do that to somebody else when I had it done to me? And that's the beauty of our system. When we grow up and we become better people, all around better people, what happens is those things are released and people start to find themselves. Now, just to swing it back to the beginning of the story, I have a dear friend that's a manager of a store that sells guns. She loves her guns. I love her because she loves her guns. I'm not a gun person, but that's okay. And she knew after Saturday's events, her hunting department was going to go through the roof. Not something she was going to be happy about or proud of. Great for sales, but not for the reason. But she decided she was going to put a stop to one thing. And there was anything political coming out of anybody's mouth. Not having it. She's like, I don't care if they come and buy their guns. I don't care if they want to go hunting. But she was not going to have a gun bought through anger, through shame, through guilt, through blame. None of that was going to be in her store. Because nobody was buying a weapon and doing it with that intention. Because she went, there's a better reason than to have this in your house. Now, maybe somebody doesn't agree with her on that. But I will tell you what, her and people like her and everybody that put a Facebook post out that was positive took a little bit of shame and a little bit of guilt out of our society. And we all finally became better people because we stopped laying blame, laying shame, and laying guilt. And I hope we all start to do that. Look at yourselves. Look at your careers. Look at your children. Look at your friends. Look at your community. And see if you are laying any of that anywhere. And if you are, remove it. Get rid of it. No two of us are alike, and we're not supposed to be. And when we stop doing that, what we're going to do is take our society back, and we are going to become great again. And I think that's how we make the nation great again. Stop blaming others. Stop laying shame. Bring it back home. Look at yourself. Are you doing what your purpose is? Are you happy in your purpose? Because if you're not, find it. Even if it says psychic. Because trust me, you're going to rock it no matter what it is. So that being said, guys, we're going to take a quick station break. When we come back, we're going to do our 5-card stud. See you in a few.
Is your space aligned with your dreams? Do you feel inspired when you walk in the door? Carol Hyder can help you create a space that you love, where you thrive, and where you always want to be. Using her 29 years of experience as a feng shui consultant, teacher, author, and trainer, she can help you bring forth the inspired essence of your home or office, making a place where you feel whole and safe. Learn the specific feng shui adjustments that Carol has seen as the most important, such as determining which room in your home should be your favorite, why your stove may be affecting your health, and why your office may be holding you back. Contact Carol at 612-823-5093 or carolhyder.com to discuss the specifics with a personal appointment. By elevating the energy of your space, it becomes sacred and you will be forever changed. Contact Carol at Carol Hyder, that's CarolEhyder.com.
Explore your path to higher consciousness with Kelly Wagner. Meet Kelly Wagner, a visionary founding member of the Community for Higher Consciousness, ready to illuminate your way and empower you to live your best life. With her unique set of tools as a knower and seer, Kelly goes beyond surface-level problems, uncovering the why behind your challenges. She fearlessly asks the questions that lead to the ultimate truth. Kelly's insatiable tenacity ensures that you receive top-notch creative solutions. Brace yourself for a journey of self-discovery and empowerment as Kelly taps into her innate gifts, guiding you toward a life of fulfillment and purpose. As a psychic medium Reiki practitioner, co-host of the Being Curious Show, publisher of Edge Magazine, and master connector, Kelly's transformative approach creates win-win partnerships here, there, and everywhere. Let Kelly ignite your potential. Contact Kelly at edgemagazine.net and step towards a life aligned with higher consciousness. Discover more at you'vegotkelly.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with the Edge Network, coming through with our 5-card stud, everybody. This week, there's no extra box, but I want these cards are from Kim Woods. The name of the deck is How to Use Your Intuition for a Prosperous Life and Successful Business, Intuitive Oracle cards. I haven't opened them yet. They came like this. They came in the package like this. So there you go. It's a very pretty design on the box. I want to read what the back says. Put my lovely glasses on. I'm telling you, I need to get a new pair. It says, seeking ways to step into your power or to use your intuitive in daily life and business. If so, you've come to the right place. This 48 Oracle card deck is designed just for you. I can't read today, I'm telling you. The deck gives you answers on how to prosper in business, stand in your power, and helps you connect with more deeply within to find solutions. The cards are inviting whatever your intuitive range. If you're a beginner, there are practical tips. If you're intuitive, there are magical tools. Pull the card to start your day, do a reading for your richer insights, or use the card's energy to lean further into possibility. The cards meet you where you are. Welcome to the magic of Intuitive Oracle deck. Come inside to see what awaits. And it's got a picture of 4 different cards on the back. So when I look at this, no clue what that was. So when I look at it, I'll tell you what, the book, I like the size of the book just because it's easier to handle for myself. It's obviously not going to be the pocket version, but that's okay. The back of the book says the same thing as the cards do. It does have books. I'm not sure, also by Kim Woods. There's audio. There's also books. She's written other books, which are kind of cool. It does have a little thing about the author, acknowledgments, things of that nature. Each page, it seems like there's 2 pages for what the card means, which is also kind of nice. Oh, and somewhere in there, I found a QR code. I have no clue. Randomly, page 42, there's a QR code hidden in there. Now I want to know. I bet you just takes us to Kim's page, but let's see. Oh my God. My phone has been doing dictation since we've been off. So strange. Anyway, I will take that off in a minute. So I want to do the QR code. What's it take us to? Since we found a QR code. Oh, it takes us to a free download, a free meditation download. That's so cool. There you go. Can you see it? That's the QR code. So it's pretty cool. It's got a nice little freebie in there. I'm going to download it. So it's an additional freebie in the book that's just kind of nestled in there. I love that. I haven't seen another book or another oracle deck that has given us that. So that's pretty cool. I'll have to do that meditation and see what y'all think about it. Go from there. Okay. Let me see. It does have the descriptions inside the book, a little bit more. Just she's giving you little extras here and there, how to do card spreads, just all of it. So I think it's pretty cool. It just gives you extra and extra and extra. It looks like the book just keeps giving you more and more and more as we go. So with that being said, let's kind of get into this deck. I haven't opened the deck. It came to me this way just to see what it's like. The cards are really big, very, very big. Get the trusted thing out to open that, because you just got to use tools for life that make life a little easier. So they are the more laminated cards. So they're, for me, it's a little bit more, for my hands, the deck's a little bit harder to shuffle because it is a bigger deck. If your hands are a little bit more limber, probably much easier for you. For myself, I'm sure she made them bigger because of the artwork. And some people just prefer bigger decks. You know, some people just prefer bigger decks. I'm not that one that prefers them. I prefer a smaller deck just for easier in handling. But that's me. That's me. So 5 card stud here. How we play this is I'm going to pick 5 cards, and I'm going to tell you what each card means. In those cards, if you're going to pick a number 1 through 5, you can pick any one of those numbers. You can put 2 of those numbers, 4 of those numbers, all 5. It doesn't really matter. These are your individual readings. And then when I'm done with the card, with reading each individual ones, I'm going to turn around and read them all as a whole. Okay. You can do as Kim suggests is about your career or your future, to be more prosperous, or just for daily life. It doesn't really matter. I mean, again, we've taken meditation cards, guys, and done readings. So I'm a firm believer. Throw me some pictures and we're going to read on it. You know what I mean? Reading is all about your intuition. You know, you can memorize the cards, but quite frankly, it's all about your intuition at the end of the day. So card number 1 is merge with your resistance. Merge with your resistance. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. When I'm looking at that, it's beautiful, isn't it? The imagery is beautiful. So I'm looking at the card number 1, merge. And I love how it says merge with your resistance, because everybody's like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. But honestly, that's a great place to go, because resistance is an uncomfortable place. That's a place where you're going, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I want to run away. And that's not where you're supposed to do. We're always supposed to be in a perpetual uncomfort zone. Now, do we want to be comfortable? Yes, we do. We always want to get to that point where we are comfortable. But when we're merging with something, when we're expanding our soul, when we get it into a comfort zone, that's a resistance right off the bat. And you move into that place. You begin, once you get into there, you start to navigate that resistance. You start to navigate that uncomfortable zone. And you actually become more comfortable, and that shows growth. So this is saying it's time for you to grow again. It's saying that you've been comfortable way too long. It's time for growth to start. And it's time for you to look at that thing that you need to push yourself towards. Now, whatever that might be, it might be going back to school, it might be quitting a job, it might be moving your house, whatever it might be. Card number 1 is just saying it's time for growth and start going in that direction. Okay. Card number 2 is align. Align with your true life purpose. Align with your true life purpose. This card comes with weight. If you picked card number 2, you are already looking at, oh my gosh, am I doing what makes me happy? Should I do this the rest of my life? What is going on with me? So you already have a lot of these questions coming up. And card number 2 is saying it's time. It is time for you to take the big leap. It's time for you to jump into it. It's time for you to open up whatever that can of worms is and start doing it. It's time for you to start being prosperous in your own life, both as a soul and as just a higher loving type being. Card number 3 is allow. Be vulnerable by letting go of limits. Allow. I feel like I'm being yelled at here. Allow. Be vulnerable, letting go of limits. Now, that's another big one, because a lot of times we scream boundaries, boundaries. We have to set our boundaries up, and we do. We need boundaries, but this card is saying limits. You have limited yourself. If you pick card number 3, you have put limits on what you can do, where you can go, how much money I can make. And I'll tell you what, money's a big one, because we go, I can only make money from work. Well, who says money can't just show up in your Venmo? Who says money can't just show up at your door box? Who says you're not going to get a raise? Who says a strange bonus isn't going to show up? Who knows? Stop limiting yourself as to where things are coming to you and how they are coming to you. Instead, look at things and go, you know what? I'm opening up for prosperity. I'm opening up for life change. And I don't care what it is. Just bring it to me in whatever fashion. And that's really what that opening up those limits are. Stop limiting yourself in many different ways. Card number 4 is magic. Remember, you are magic. Phenomenal, phenomenal. If you pick card number 4, you have been really dealing with some things going, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't create this, I can't create that. It's because this card is saying you can. You need to start looking at yourself as more than what you have placed on yourself. This card is telling you to come here, look at this, look in the mirror, and see that you are the person that's creating your own life. Nobody is creating it for you. And if you're finding that your life is going nowhere, it is because you have created a life that you don't want to go nowhere. If you are creating a life that's like, oh my gosh, all your wildest dreams, it is you. It is you are the creation. You are the creator of your life. Remember, you have the magic inside of you. I like that card. I do. Okay. Oh my gosh. Clarify is card number 5. Ask provocative questions and create space for answers. Kind of like this one. I kind of like this one, because this one's taking you back into your guardian angels, your guides, all that wonderful stuff, or even your higher self, because this card is literally saying you're not sure of yourself. You're going, oh my gosh, should I do this? DeEtte just said this. Should I do this? I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do that, whatever it might be. And it's saying for you to go, wait a second, go to your higher being, go to that place and bring that back to you. Bring those answers back to you. How do you do that? You ask, should I do this? Let it go. See what comes back. It might be a feeling within yourself that says, It might be, all of a sudden you get a door knock and it's, a salesman. You're like, no, you know what I mean? The answer is going to come to you. And again, open up the library of ways spirit can speak to you. But it's answering those deeper questions and then allowing the answer. Is the answer going to be a big bounding boom in your head? Maybe. Most likely not. Maybe. Who knows? I won't say, I should say not in your head, but by your ear. A lot of times it's going to come through music. It's going to come through what maybe somebody else says to you, something you see on the road, whatever that might be. But give time for those answers. The answers are going to come to you when you open up your mind and your eyes, and you're going to go, wow, can't deny that one. So card number 1 was merge. Card number 2 is align. Card number 3 is allow. 4 is magic, and 5 is clarity. And I love this because this deck is again another week of lifting us, sending us someplace else. Because when I'm looking at this and they're reminding me of the last few weeks, this week is finally you're in a place going, wait a second, I think I'm ready to do this. I think I'm ready to do this. Like I've been building myself and building myself and building myself. And now you finally have looked at yourself and you went, oh my gosh, I know who I am. in this moment. I'm accepting who I am in this moment. And it's time for you to start taking those next leaps because you finally figured out who you are. You're aligning yourself with your purpose. You're aligning yourself with your life, and you're allowing your life to change unlimitlessly. You're finally throwing your hands up and going, here you go. Now, I will say with this being said, because that Clarify card is here, I do feel like with this reading, all along, you're going to be going, okay, should I take this turn? Should I do this? Should I do that? Because in all actuality, every time we make a big change in our life, we want to find some guidance. And trust me when I say the guidance is there. And this card Clarify is more about the guidance you're going to get than, oh my gosh, clarifying, should I do this or should I not? Remember, this is your world, your life, your destiny, and you're the person that's going to create it. So bring that magic into yourself and know that even though this is uncomfortable, it's okay. It's only going to be uncomfortable for a little bit until you find your new way of going. Whew. I like this reading. I do. I feel like it spoke to me and probably a lot of other people. So I hope you enjoyed this reading as well. Oh my gosh. And I love the fact that I didn't need to open the book. I love it when I don't need to open the book and my intuition can just go, booyah, we got this. Okay. So that's huge. So let's go into what's going on in the days or weeks to come, When I'm looking at this, I have this Saturday booked, guys. This Saturday is booked. We are at the Broadhead Manor. And when I say we, me and my little one, Addie, my little granddaughter, Addie, are going to Broadhead Manor in Broadhead, Wisconsin. There is God, I hope I don't mess this up, Moonbow events going on this Saturday at, thank you, Lee. Oh, thank you, Sarah and Paula. At Broadhead Manor, the old school is going to be there. And I will tell you what, Christina Bloom is putting it on. Bill, Walter, and Ron are the one with the establishment that it's being done at. And just a really amazing line of people are going to be there. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. I can't wait to see you again, Lee. I'm sorry, I get to see it. I don't get to see Lee very often, so it's always a joy. She always brings coffee. God, you gotta love a lady that just brings a box of coffee. Anyway, Broadhead Manor is just a joy to be there. My granddaughter, I will be doing readings all day. I'm not doing any special talks, no special galleries. You're going to be able, if you want to see me, you're not going to find me off hiding someplace else this time. I'm just there to enjoy the camaraderie, do readings, be there in the moment. My granddaughters, of course, Lee, of course. My granddaughter does temporary tattoos at these events there at Broadhead, and she loves them. I will tell you what, she is 7, but half of the money, everything she makes goes into a savings account for her for college, her car, whatever. Yes, is she starting young? Yes, she is. But her parents do believe that learning a good value is a great one. And she has decided on her own she wanted to be a businesswoman. So, and she did her first event at 6 years old. This will be her 3rd event because she's done another one in June 1st at Spirits in the Spring. She's doing today. She has yet another event scheduled this year. For the Rolf House, just so you guys know. So she'll be there at Sands at the Rolf at Rolf House with me on October 26th. But she's having a magical time. She's learning about herself, and come in and say hi to either one of us. You get too close to her, you're going to end up with a tattoo on your arm because she's a really good salesman. So that event, I do believe, is 9 to 5 or 10 to 5. If it's a little longer, hey, we'll just give extra hugs. And next week I am off because it is the Rock County Fair. And me and my grandbabies go to the fair. So there's that. Okay, guys. So that being said, you know where I'm at. Remember, you can always book me for readings. Go to DeEtte.us, DeEtte.us. That is my website. The idea of us is, I know it says it's for the U.S., but really it's DeEtte.us. It's me and all my spirit guides and all of your spirit guides and all of your loved ones and my loved ones coming through to give you the best we possibly can. So there is that. There is that. So, again, DeEtte.us, book your reading. I will be spray bottle of water instead of tub water. That's a good idea, Lee. I'll see if we can do them with her that way. But yeah, come on in, guys. Come on in, guys. See us. Have fun. This is what we do. I will see you guys next week here on School Through Spirit with the Edge Network. Have a great day. Have a great, great day. Have a great week and enjoy what's coming to you.
There are psychic mediums, but there is nothing like DeEtte. Let's face it, we all struggle time and again. But if you seek the clarity you deserve, then you need to seek DeEtte. As a master teacher, DeEtte studied under international psychic medium Lisa Williams. Together, they not only help DeEtte better tap into spirit, but also build a long-lasting relationship. So many psychics tell us what we want to hear, and that just won't cut it with DeEtte. She tells you what you need to hear. No sugarcoating here. To book a reading with DeEtte is simple. Just visit her website, DeEtte.us. That's DeEtte.us. And follow the yellow brick road to connect with DeEtte. Don't just sit there and ponder those questions. Ask them and let DeEtte guide you every step of the way. You need insight now, and DeEtte can help. Just visit DeEtte.us. That's DeEtte.us.